Ever since I was a kid, I've had these memories of coming home from school or waking up on the weekends, turning on the TV, and going to Nickelodeon to watch the newest episode of SpongeBob. And since I was a kid, I never really paid much thought to what I was watching. I mean, as we're kids, our parents tell us things that we don't really understand until a lot later on in life, when we look back on it and realize they might have been onto something. What's the word, YouTube? It is I, Jordan, and trying a different angle today, so let me know how you feel about it. Any comments down below. What is capitalism? Well, capitalism is a system of economics. It's one that's probably the most common in today's society. Capitalism has taken a lot of flack, not just in recent years, but since its inception, by a lot of theologists and a lot of economists about how it's not really practical and how it's not the most sustainable economic system. However, I'm not a business channel, so I'm not going to focus on capitalism itself. What I'm here to talk about is how it represents itself within Bikini Bottom. And I've decided to take a look at 3 characters in particular: Squidward, SpongeBob, and obviously Mr. Krabs. First things first, let's start with the easiest comparison, Mr. Krabs. He is what I call personally a hyper-capitalist, in that he values his own business, profits, revenue. He values things of this nature, materialistic ideals, more than himself and more than those around him. We've seen in multiple episodes how far he's willing to go, but the main examples I'd like to highlight is the fact that he sold his own soul, not just to one entity, mind you, but to maximize his profit and his overall benefits from the arrangement. He rents it to a multitude of spirits and poltergeists and whatnot. And to take it a step further, earlier in the episode, he tried to do the same to one of his employees. SpongeBob has shown Mr. Krabs absolutely nothing but loyalty. However, when the question comes into play of is that loyalty worth its weight in cash, unfortunately SpongeBob's sacrifices up to this point amount to nothing, and we see just where he stands in Mr. Krabs' eyes. He may have reverted the decision later on in the episode, but sadly, I don't think that's indicative of his actual thought processes. SpongeBob is also a fairly easy character to analyze, however, not in the way that you'd expect. SpongeBob isn't the ideal capitalist. He's the ideal worker for a capitalist economy. And notice where he is in the show, the main character, the one whose ideals are pushed upon us, the viewers, the most throughout the show. And what is one of SpongeBob's core ideals? Work equals happiness. We see time and time again that the more he's in with his job, the happier he is. It's been expressed multiple times that he gets paid literal pennies, but work is still the most important thing to him, to the point where when he doesn't work, he's shown signs of severe depression, among other things, all just because he can't go to work. So what does this say about the show? It shows that you as a viewer, you children, if you ever think that you're not happy, that you're not fulfilled, then work for someone. It doesn't matter how much they're paying you. As long as you're working, you should be happy with just that. Finally, Squidward. Now, Squidward was the one that actually drew my attention to this topic in the first place, because thinking back on it, everybody always says, oh, as you get older, you start to sympathize with Squidward, but what does that mean? Sympathize with him? Well, not just in the fact that he was fed up with SpongeBob's antics, but also his general approach to work in the first place. Squidward is the antithesis to SpongeBob, in that he is what a capitalist economy despises. He's a creative. He'd much rather be playing his clarinet or biking. What the He'd much rather be indulging in these creative endeavors than going to work. Yet, how does the show respond to this character? They make him the butt of the joke. The only character in the show to actively go against the norms set by other characters in the show is ridiculed for the passions he has that have nothing to do with money, and is looked down upon as the center of misfortune in the world. If you really think about it, the main villain, Plankton, goes through far less suffering than Squidward does. Why is that? Because he represents a different thought process. He represents someone who's not going to sit down and get paid pennies, and instead find his fulfillment elsewhere, whether it be through music or the arts in general. He is the unsung hero of this story. Anyways, please do not succumb to the narrative propagated by the media. And please remember that it's okay to be a Squidward in a world run by Mr. Krabses, who demand you to be a SpongeBob. And if you have that idea in your head, then please repeat after me. If you like the video, and if you really like the video, then subscribe. It's that simple. And until you do that, leave it in the comments down below how this video made you feel, if you rock with the angle that I'm doing right now, if you like this setup for these kind of videos. And as long as you do that, you keep being you, and I'll just be Jordan. Peace.